This video is brought to you in part by TruTech Tools, quality tools, essential support.
What's going on, guys? So we're out here doing a PM. I did some work here on a video, I don't know, quite a few months ago, and now we're finally getting to do some of the PM work. So I'm going to take you along for the ride. We got a unit here that is low on charge. We just got done cleaning the barrels, which we're going to show you some of that yet, but we're recharging it. We just found a leak, so let's take a look here. So we've got us a leak we found here on this discharge line down here. And as you can see, holy cow, it's really bad now. So yeah, he found it in no time flat there. And that thing's really bad. As you can see here, you can't go by the sight glass alone, but that sight glass is flashing really bad. As you see right there is my field piece probe. Got one there, and I got my monster probe here from field piece there. We're checking our subcooling and superheat. Subcooling is right in here at 2 degrees, 21 degrees superheat. So we've added 20 pounds, and we had 8 before it, so we have 28 pounds in here. It holds 63 pounds total, and unfortunately, that's what's going on. We're basically recharging it. What we've done so far is we went ahead and yanked our ends off here on our barrels because we have super high head pressure. We were running about 500 pounds of head pressure. We had to take off the end here, which usually you can only do it, you can get away with doing it on just one, but we ended up pulling it off both just because it was so bad. A lot of times if you don't do it on a routine basis, you push it all to one side and then you come back and it just pushes it on the end. You can see here what the seals would look like. These are extras that they've got. These go on the end, and then the bolts go right through it and it squeezes it on there. That's just a metal cap on the end, and your water's coming in here. This is a head pressure control valve. Basically, it controls the water flow based off the discharge pressure. Discharge pressure comes in here, goes to the actual discharge off the compressor. As the pressure goes higher, it pushes the valve open, lets more water flow through. Then it returns back to the tower. This is, I forget how many tons, I think it's like 70 tons, something like that. But you've got water lines going all the way up to the towers there. So we've got an outdoor condenser coil that's water cooled, that is getting air pulled across the water tower while the water drips down from the top, and it comes into here. So what these machines are doing is they're cooling down the water going to the machines. We replaced these flat plate heat exchangers, I think 6 months ago or so, and that is for the machining process that's going on over there. Like I said, I'll put a link in there up above here or in the link down below. So anyhow, as I said, we're just basically adding some refrigerant to it, and we've got a massive leak though that we're going to have to try to get the rebuild kit for that. And we're going to need to check this one here and see if there's any other leaks. But as you see here, we've got a nice sight glass full. And the device we've got is this Advantage unit. The Advantage unit here has a high pressure and low pressure, kind of primitive, not quite as fancy as the one we've got going on down there, but this one does a good job when it's actually charged right. They do have gauges up here on top, so you got your refrigerant head pressure and your suction pressure, so that you don't even have to hook your gauges up, but they ain't always the most accurate thing in the world. Your controller here, kind of the same thing. You select your zone. We're on zone 1, which is the one we're working on. We can see that we don't have any low pressure, high pressure issues. If they're red solid, that means that it's reset, but it tripped. If it's blinking, it means it's actually active. And then you have your compressors 1 and 2 here. These are 2 independent boards, all controlled by that controller in front. You got 480 coming in. We checked our phase imbalance to make sure that's right. And we've tightened all of our settings here. We went through, they actually got 35 inch-pounds on the one lug over here and these other ones over here. We checked and adjusted those. It had it right on there, 375 inch-pounds, which I divided by 12. Got my foot-pounds, used my torque wrench and actually got those set, and I had quite a few loose connections there. Then we have our pumps over here, which they have this isolated so that this machine does all the equipment on that side. These other machines down here take care of everything on this side, which goes to all these machines that basically make plastic containers. So this one here is completely separate. Now if one goes down, we can open up these valves up here at the top, and they're able to loop them together. Unfortunately, they didn't pipe it so that you can run them at the same time, which is a tragedy, I feel, because if you run them both at the same time, you'll end up flowing the water all over the place. I know I'm cramming a lot of information in here, but they finally got a chemical system in, which is allowing us now to make sure that our pH balance is right, which makes a huge difference. This is your extra reserve tank here. You got a reserve tank here. Basically, this is that buffer zone so that you aren't short cycling. this thing is quite low because it's leaking so bad. It's even worse than what it was. We tightened it up and it's worse now. So our sight glass went full, as we can see right there. Our subcooling's still only 2 degrees, and our superheat now is 13. I'm happy with that. We're well above that 95 area to 100 pounds where it usually trips out. Our saturated temperature is 49, a lot better than 30 or below, where things would freeze, especially being they don't run glycol in any of this. Unfortunately, that's leaking. I'm gonna see if there's any way I can get a seal for it yet today. Worst case scenario, maybe I can pump it down. Well, when it rains, it pours. We were picking up about 100 on that sight glass on the compressor. Never fails, always gotta be something going on. Now, as you can see, it's a great day to work on the condensers. Some of these units are new. Another company put those in. Now you got some old ones here that are practically just barely hanging on by a string. This unit here was the one that we had undersized liquid line that was done by the factory or a service agent for them. This is the one I believe I got a night service call out of. So just basically water-cooled condenser only. This is going to the other newer looking one. So we've got him cleaning that stuff out with the power washer. He's going through the top and bottom both. We're at a point now where at least it ain't horrible, but we are starting to flash again. We need more refrigerant, and that is really loud. It actually might be down here. That's freaking squealing loud. It is so hard to tell where that's coming from. I don't know where all the maintenance guys are at. Definitely need to have your hearing protection on here. Do you get it to bubble at all?
What, on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that bubbled.
Big time?
Yeah.
Great. Well, at least now coming down to 55 degrees area, 58. So we're about to set point, but that's got to be fixed somehow. That's what sucks. You come out on these maintenances and then you find crap wrong and you only have so much time to do stuff. And then you're supposed to what? Let it leak out? We're supposed to be getting service with one of our other chillers on the other side, but they can't get to that because they are just now putting the bypass thing in. So I don't know. Makes everything difficult. You can see right there the bubbles. What do you do? And then we're still flashing. Here's the other little leak. Look at that little guy. Little bitty one. That one's a bad spot. That one's nowhere near as bad as the other one though. So 24 pounds, 25 pounds, plus 8, 33. I was wrong on that math, but we need more. Like I said, we got those 2 leaks there, plus possibly something on that sight glass. We might just tighten up a little bit and hope for the best. Otherwise, you got to recover the whole charge. That's the bad thing about these threaded fittings. This is a multi-day PM, and like I said, I stayed yesterday for like 12 hours, 14 hours trying to get it, the most work done because it's an hour drive. So that's where we're at. Okay, so we went through, noted things that are going on, discharge pressures, all that stuff, superheat, subcooling approach, amperages of the compressors, water in and out, all that stuff. One of the things that helped make things a lot quicker was being able to have the wireless probes on there. The big clamp that we got over here makes a huge difference because, these big pipes are really hard to get on there with the normal size clamp. JL3LC, that thing makes a huge difference. Okay, we're on high. I'm gonna try this thing out, see how well it does. So, goes off, it's on high. Now the really tiny one down here, let's see if it can pick that one up. You can tell we're picking things up down here. We've got 14. Whenever it blinks on the bottom there, you're getting something. Picking up something down there, not real great. Let's try the turbo. There, turbo mode, T for turbo, I guess. Pull it away. That was a tiny, tiny little leak. There's something there. Problem is, if you aren't taking your time, now granted, we're picking something up from up here. I think it's this thing here, it's just leaking so bad. Oh yeah, look at that. She's leaking that bad. Holy crap, that's what you're picking up. Medium got it. The biggest thing is having to be familiar with your detector. If you don't use it much, it's always going to be harder. So there we go, it's getting it too there. There's low, it's even picking it up. That's a huge leak there on that one though. So I just wanted to see if it would pick anything up. I love the tip blinking like that. That is pretty neat. I wish my Ampicon had that. Yeah, that sight glass is really flashing. We really need more refrigerant. We got to see if they want to do that or not. So now we're going to go ahead and start the PM on this one here. I'm not going to sit there and do the whole PM for you because that seems to be kind of boring. But the main thing I'm doing here is kind of showing you some of the basics of what I'm doing and kind of what I was running into earlier. So what we're doing is we're checking the calibration of the transducers on discharge on both circuits and suction transducers, checking superheat, discharge temperatures, making sure that it's accurate. Like only one of the compressors running right now, and we're at a 130-degree discharge. Kind of going through, comparing all those things, and trying to eliminate any possible problems that are coming about, so we can get them before they become a major issue, which is kind of how I first started at this place. Was so many problems. Go ahead and jump that over to here. I've already sanded up my copper a little bit. There we go. My big old plant gets right on that monster, no problem at all. So superheat here. It's got us a 16.8. We have a temperature of 55.2.
If you wanted to check superheat, you would put it after the condenser?
Superheat or subcooling?
Superheat.
What's the superheat checking?
How much vapor?
Okay. And you want to put it where?
So
What's superheat do? What's its goal? What's it trying to do? What's it trying to protect?
the compressor.
Okay. The refrigerant comes back to the compressor where you're at.
Suction. So you'd put it on suction. Could you put it right after the evaporator?
Pretty much. I mean, you got two different kinds. You have compressor superheat and you have evaporator superheat. If you have a long ass run, you could have perfect superheat at your evaporator.
Yeah.
But if you had to go through an attic uninsulated and coming back to the compressor, you'd gain a lot of heat,
Yeah.
which then could transfer into the compressor, causing it to overload.
Yeah.
So that's why we usually set like walk-in coolers and stuff at the actual evaporator.
Yeah.
That's why they got a suction port there and everything else. But air conditioning usually is done out at the denser unit.
Yeah.
But on those units, usually you can't adjust the TXV anyway because they're usually not adjustable. It's shut off again. So this thing keeps tripping over and over and over again. I have no idea what's shutting it down. Not that, not that. I don't know. This thing is such a turd. It's not telling me anything as a problem. So none of my things, we're on zone 1, none of our lights are changing colors. Just all of a sudden, bam, it slams the valve shut and she shuts off. If you go into your temperatures, we're 69 degrees. This thing's Philly farting around, tripping out for no good reason, but we don't know why. I hate this I hate this chiller. It's a crappy design. It doesn't tell you. It's obviously missing something. Something's making it mad, but you can't tell what. It's not phase. It doesn't appear to be temperature limit because I just checked that. It's on zone 1, so it's not that. Makes me wonder if the dang valve there is slamming shut on its own or what. I have no idea. Well, we're trying to get that last bit. We had him go pick up some more refrigerant, trying to get the sight glass full, check our subcooling while we're at it. We got a probe back down there. Just really difficult when this thing wants to keep shutting off. We got PM to do, and this thing just been a pain in the ass. So we got him checking that low switch. Don't know if it's opening up. There'd be a possibility of split second. Then you got time delay after that. Only about 2 degrees of subcooling. Subcooling, I think, was 15 or 20 on the other one. It's almost lost most of all of its refrigerant. All right, so we're looking at this. We've got a sight glass that's flashing. So say the TXV was wide open. If the TXV was wide open, what would that happen? Your superheat would be really low. Our superheat is actually really high. We were working good when we were almost there. So we are not getting liquid to it. It appears, because I've already added 20-some pounds. I mean, I pretty much have totally recharged this. We must have a massive leak in that condenser coil, is all I can think. Otherwise, where in the world did it go? I mean, it's leaking at a decent rate on that solenoid valve. I'm gonna go up there and sniff for refrigerant, and if we have a leak in the condenser barrel, it would be up there. Because, I mean, we've added 21 pounds. Do the math again. We're at 54 pounds. This only holds 63. something major's got to be going on, and unfortunately you're just now noticing that. I'm getting 59 parts per million already over here. Something's leaking somewhere really, really bad.
Check around the barrel.
Huh?
Check around the barrel.
Uh-oh. I wonder when we cleaned it if something didn't break loose. What we could do, only blow a little bit of evaporator, well, it'd be evaporator, condenser, whichever. We can let a little something out here, water-wise. Yeah, look at that. There's oil in that. Looks like oil. This is just water. Well, either our evaporator's leaking or that freaking barrel is, and I bet you anything it's a dang barrel. That thing looked like crap.
Yeah, does that mean it's my fault?
No, I mean, we cleaned it. Things
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do.
it's thin. If it failed, it ain't our fault.
Is it still leaking on the...
Yeah, but nowhere near that big. I mean, look, if I...
The leak was...
Now, if I get right on it, sure, it's going to go high.
The leak was like right there.
Sure, if we get in there, it gets bigger. But when you're not picking it up from a few inches away, it's not your leak, not your biggest leak, not enough to lose 20-some pounds.
Yeah.
What's bad is after it goes from here, it comes out of here, and comes up, goes up to that tank. So I need to go over to the tank. That would be just my luck. Because we're picking up stuff over here. That's not good. Not good. Not good at all. That is the leak. And either the evaporator or the condenser's leaking. We got a problem. We got a big problem. I always love when a PM turns into a disaster. It's awesome. Real freaking great. Now, you know, if that had glycol in it, I could see it being an issue, but it don't have glycol. Not good. Our brand new evaporator plate here is leaking. When you watch it, it comes out of this, goes over to that tank. That is your evaporator tank, your cold side, your buffer tank for it. It's got a fancier term, but I don't usually remember it. So this other tank over here, the big blue one, that's your condenser. You can see the condenser's off the back. Comes up, goes over to that gray tank, gray line. The gray comes across, comes over to this one. I haven't checked it yet, but there's no reason there should be anything in either one of them, but this one here should have nothing. But we're gonna talk to them. It ain't even been a year, but they got bad water, and I guess from what I'm told, and I mean, I'm no expert on flat plate, but basically it destroys them, sandblasts them. And even though I couldn't even cut through 1/4 of that thing with a disc wheel, took 6 of them just to make a cut out of it. It appears I was shot, which really sucks because this was not fun to change. I made a video on it. So what a wonderful day. That's going to shut this PM down because I can't switch that one off when it has to carry a good portion of the load. We'll have to do the train one probably tomorrow if they got everything set up for the bypass. Anyhow, depending on how well things go, about as much as I can do for now. I'm going to isolate it, drain the water off of it so we ain't pushing the water into it anymore. But that's where we're at. So we just isolated it right here and isolated it over there coming into it, and it started leaking all over. I'll show you some of the footage for that. Okay, normally water comes out as water. That's coming out as gas. You can see the oil there. That's great. Now we're going to do the same thing to the condenser barrel. I isolated the water. So basically we're doing reverse. We're isolating the water, just like we did on the evaporator, and it built pressure, and then eventually it was blowing refrigerant out the side of it, no water. I'm going to do the same thing here. I got that plug about yanked out. I strongly recommend having a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch NPT to garden hose. These things come in really handy. So we're gonna blast this into the bucket and then switch it to this. Once we get the water pressure off of it, we should be halfway okay. Nope, don't seem to be. Definitely warm. Let's see if we got, it's gotta be on this. I mean, there's no good reason for it to have anything else, you know?
Yeah, that's normal.
I know, I don't know how we got so much in the other thing then. Well, I mean, if we should be able to put a gauge on it and see if it goes up. Okay, you're probably wondering, why does this guy have all these fittings to hose attachment that goes to a gauge? Well, the original reason for this attachment right here is that this here, you could pump glycol into a geothermal. That seems like that pressure build up there. So let's go ahead and get this cranked in here. We'll see if we build pressure. I've got no PSI, and if that condenser was leaking, with us having it isolated, we would be, my question is how did it get way over there? Unless it steals some water from this thing. So let's take a look and see if there's any way it could have got over there. So this is the other one we were trying to do, but obviously we can't, because you can't shut it down and hope that other one's gonna do it over. So what we were gonna do, we were going to pull the flow sensor off and run that adapter, 1/2 inch adapter in there, because no one thought to add any valves, you know, any type of way to flush it. So we got it set up here on this to do it. Been a couple minutes and it hasn't moved. I'm gonna say our condenser's probably fine. I mean, it would have leaked into the shell, and it surely would have leaked into the shell. So, well, there we go. Pegged out. I literally valved off both sides of it, and it started pushing water out through the seal on the top here. Blowing water out. It was building pressure after I shut the. It had more pressure than what your freaking pumps are running at. So I'm double checking that condenser. I still don't know how. I'm wondering if that sulfuric acid that you use to treat the water is putting off a gas that made it go nuts. Very probable, is what I'm figuring. So, but I isolated it, and the pressure didn't come up at all on the gauge. I basically did the exact same thing by isolating the water. So I shut it off here and here coming into that barrel, and I closed it there. So if there was pressure leaking, it would fill out into that space and then go to it, but we got nothing there.
So if you just had a refrigerant leak like we thought?
It's leaking in the evaporator. For sure that, yeah. Yeah, you see me peg out at 10,000. This one here is what, 4? Not leaking. I'm good with that. We're probably gonna get out of here in a minute, but you think we're okay for tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay.
So we're just only running one circuit here then?
Yeah. What the? Wait a minute, how is the evaporator getting into this? You guys seen this last time. Wow, that thing was leaking so bad. This makes no sense. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap this one up. I do not know how this thing got the pressure over to that other tank, beyond me. Leave a comment down below if you know. But we are completely isolated, like I said. And at this point, we're just basically looking at getting a new evaporator. Again, their water is horrible. I don't know how it ate it up that fast, but I hear that it's supposedly possible. It's isolated, it's open, so there's no water in there other than, you know, the drizzle that might come through, but trying to keep it out of the refrigeration system. If you guys enjoyed the video and want to see more like it, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, share it with friends and family, give it as a Christmas present. And until next time, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.